BBC News Channel.
Hello, I'm Joanna Gosling, live in Westminster, where the Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng has announced the government's mini-budget. There will be cuts to income tax and stamp duty, and the Chancellor has lifted the cap on bankers' bonuses.
We promised to prioritise growth, Mr. Speaker. We promised a new approach for a new era. We promised to release the enormous potential of this country. Our growth plan has delivered all those promises and more, Mr. Speaker.
Labour said the changes are a comprehensive demolition of the government's last 12 years in power.
The oil and gas producers will be toasting the Chancellor in the boardrooms as we speak, while working people are left to pick up the bill.
It is being described as the biggest tax-cutting budget in half a century. We'll look at what it means for you. Do get in touch with any questions or thoughts. I'm at BBC Joanna G on Twitter, or use the hashtag #BBCYourQuestions.
And I'm Lukwesa Burak. The other stories here on BBC News today. The Victims Commissioner for England and Wales, Dame Vera Baird, resigns, describing the criminal justice system as being in chaos. An update on the Molly Russell inquest. A coroner issued the greatest warning as the court was showing distressing videos of that the teenager liked on Instagram. And author Dame Hilary Mantel, best known for her Wolf Hall trilogy, has died, aged 70.
I mean, it's like that is the holy grail of being the writer that we all aspire to. She was the J.K. Rowling of historical fiction.
Hello, I'm Joanna Gosling in Westminster. In a massive shake-up of the UK's finances, the Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng has outlined a series of tax cuts and spending commitments that will cost £45 billion by 2027. The government says its policies will help to boost economic growth, but critics say funding the tax cuts will lead to unsustainable borrowing. The government had already confirmed the national insurance rise would be reversed from November, but that was one of just a number of measures. So let's take a look at what was announced this morning in more detail. The basic rate of income tax is being cut by 1 pence to 19 pence, and the 45% tax rate for top earners over £150,000 will be abolished from April next year. A planned rise in corporation tax from 19% to 25% has been cancelled. That is the tax businesses pay on their profits. There'll be a cut to stamp duty in England and Northern Ireland. That is the tax you pay when buying a property. The threshold will be raised to £425,000 for first-time buyers and £250,000 for everyone else. The rules that cap bankers' bonuses to twice their annual salary have been scrapped. More than 40 new investment zones are being set up in England. These zones will be allowed to relax planning rules and reduce business taxes to encourage investment. And planned increases in the duty rates for beer, cider, wine and spirits will all be cancelled. Well, as we've been saying, the government described today's announcement as a mini-budget. But this chart from the Institute for Fiscal Studies shows today's statement represents the biggest tax cut of any budget since 1972. Here's our political editor, Chris Mason.
Can we afford these tax cuts, Chancellor?